Hi besties. So for today's video, I sound like I've hit puberty for some terrible reason. Hold on. Okay, hi besties. So I can't say besties, like seriously when I'm not whispering, I have to whisper it. But I'm going to soft speak a little bit. It's not my personal favorite thing to do or listen to, but you guys seem to really like it. So here we are. And here we are. I was gonna tap a little bit on this notebook, and I just thought it would be relaxing. So I don't really have much else planned than that, but sometimes that's my favorite kind of content to film, is to just think of something kind of relaxing and then go for it. Especially considering the fact that I have a lot of things on the go lately. So yeah, that's what we're doing right now. I feel like I found my soft-spoken tone, as in it's very monotone, which is okay, it's fine. I actually speak quite monotonely. I'm from Saskatchewan, so our accents are basically monotone. There's nothing going on there. So yeah, this is just a little like leathery, well, I don't think it's real leather, but you know what I mean. Leather covered notebook. Actually got it for my birthday last year from my stepmom and my dad. And it's just like this cute little florally pattern, you know, greenery, leaves, flowers, and it says, collect moments, not things. And I guess they were trying to be inspirational as I turned 25. I don't know, but I actually really like it. I write down a lot of my ASMR ideas in here, or of the sorts, so that's pretty cool. I think it makes a good sound to tap on though. Even fingertip tapping is nice. I quite like it, so I am such a fan of whispering. I feel like I'm talking too loudly, but that's okay. I know people really enjoy soft-spoken poetry. Is that what it's called? No, it's called spoken word, isn't it? Spoken word. I used to write poetry a lot, but it's something I have kind of fallen off with in the last 3 or 4 years. Maybe I should turn this into my poetry notebook, and then I'll read poetry on my ASMR channel. It'll be quite the character arc, I think. Quite the character arc. Yeah. I do really enjoy this notebook, and it has like this little elastic part, and then when you open it, it has like a little, like a little ribbon that you can mark your page. I used to kind of use this as like a calendar. I feel like what I was gonna do, every day kind of thing. But apparently, sometime in November 22nd and 26th was the last time I did it. Because the next page is blank. But I guess that's okay. I know what I'm doing. I think what I started doing was writing it on a whiteboard. I started using my whiteboard for my things to do. I felt more accomplished for some reason crossing it off on the whiteboard. Every once in a while I have to change up my productivity, like my approaches, just to keep it fresh so that I still keep motivated, I think. Because every once in a while I'll just decide to do it in a new way. It's like basically the same thing, it's just a new way, so it's different. To keep myself in check, I think. So yeah. Today all I've been doing is studying for my midterm, and it's been a very dense content day, like, in that class, like, all I've done is study, and it was, like, very dense. I studied for 5 hours, I think, and I got through all of the stuff for my midterm. I got through all of the modules, and I was like, should I go back over it again? And I thought, no, babe, you can't. Your brain's gonna explode. So I didn't. I did some other work instead. So that's why we're here filming this video. I woke up this morning planning on not filming this video, but I had some extra time and the house was quiet. So I thought I would seize the day. So here we are. And I was supposed to have class today, but the one class that I had the midterm coming up in, we're just supposed to watch a movie. So I'm gonna watch that tonight, like when I'm in bed, because it's not gonna be on the midterm or anything, so I'm gonna watch that tonight. But then my other class, I didn't go to it because there was another, if you guys remember me talking about the Alberta Clipper, there was a similar storm to that yesterday. So I didn't feel like driving into the city just for the one class when all of my classes are recorded and posted on like our site, like our class site sort of thing, in case you have COVID or something like that. I can't make it. So I just figured that this was a good excuse not to go to school, which has been honestly really nice. Some days, sometimes it's like weeks or quite a few days where I leave the house every day and I don't get a day where I just get to hang out. So even though I was studying and stuff today, it was still nice just to not leave the house. I'm very introverted, so not leaving the house is like my favorite thing to do. And I always just like look forward to the day where I don't have to leave the house. But anyways, let's talk about the storm. Because of course, I did get caught in it. I was finishing my shift and my mom had texted me and she asked me like what time I was going to be done work, and I was like, oh, I just finished. And I thought that she maybe was wondering because she had been away looking after my grandma a bit. So I thought she was just wondering what time I was going to be home because she had gotten home that day, and I just assumed that's why she was asking, or she was asking for me to like pick something up and bring it home or whatever. But then she was literally like, yeah, like it's storming out there. You need to like get home as soon as possible. The roads are apparently passable, but you're going to need to go slow. And I was like, what are you talking about? Like, because right outside of the store I work, there's a skylight, is that what they're called? A skylight, yeah. And the sun was quite literally shining through it, and it looked beautiful outside. And then I was like leaving the parking lot, and I was like, it looks fine. Like maybe it is a little windy, and there's like a couple flakes in the air, but it looked fine. So I drove through the city, and I don't live in the city. I live out on the outskirts, kind of, so I do have to do some highway driving, which is a huge part of why I constantly get caught in snowstorms, because if I just had to drive a few blocks within the city, I would have gone home. I wouldn't have known any better. I would have just been vibing. But I do have to do some highway driving. It's about 5 to 10 minutes between there. Kind of depends how fast you're going. So I turned onto the highway and immediately white out. The wind was blowing and the snow was blowing because I had talked about how it snowed really bad. The snow was really fluffy, so there was like 5 to 10, or was it 10 to 15 centimeters of like this really fluffy snow. And then the winds got up and the gusts were between 68 kilometers an hour and 70 kilometers an hour. It was like quite literally insane. And I turned the corner and it was just like all hell had broken loose. And keep in mind, I drive a Prius, a 2007 Prius. And while I do enjoy like making fun of myself for driving a Prius. It's not always good. So, I turned the corner and there was this really long line of traffic and everyone had their hazard lights on. And we drove between 20 and 40 kilometers an hour through the highway. And luckily, I only had to go like the few kilometers it is to turn off to get into like the little residential area that I live in. But it was horrible, and I had to keep rolling down my window because the snow was blowing onto the window, and then because the inside of the car was warm, it was like turning to ice, so I had to keep rolling my windows down so I could see. And at one point I had to brake a little fast and I started to like fishtail a little bit, but luckily I'm an experienced highway snow driver. When I was a teenager, my mom would let me kind of go out on the highway when it was like that, just to like kind of learn what to do. So it was like, I know what to do, but there's quite a few people in the ditch and I felt really bad for them. I really did, because like at least I knew that I was very close to home, whereas I don't think everyone else was. And there was a lot of semis, because the way I live, like the highway that I drive on to get to where I live, it's a huge semi route. So there was a lot of semis, so that was kind of scary too, but except for when the semis were coming the other way and passing, because they're so big, they would like blow all the snow away, so then you could kind of see the road again, which was nice. But yeah, and basically the highway was just like 2 ruts for the 2 tires, like your 4 tires I guess, to go on. But thankfully once I turned to kind of go down the one little gravel road I need to go down, I guess it's not real at all, it's just a gravel road to like go into the residential area that I live in. It wasn't so bad. And it's also, that road is like really built up, so it's higher and easier to see where the road is, whereas the highway right now is very level with the ditch because there's a lot of snow, because it just wasn't built the same way, because I live in like a newer residential area that like the engineering of the road was different, if that makes any sort of sense. But anyways, typically I got caught in another snowstorm, so when I had the option this morning to not go into school because my one class was remote because we had to watch the movie, and then I knew my other class would get uploaded, I just chose not to. I'm very tired of being caught in snowstorms. It's just been so windy this winter. Yeah, I'm just so exhausted. But other than that, I've had an okay day. I did some laundry. I always do laundry on Tuesdays. Today's Tuesday, in case you're wondering. I don't know. Just been having a vibe. I feel like I've been staring at my computer screen way too much today, and I'm gonna need to take my contacts out. I can feel my eyes starting to get really dry. I do have chronic dry eye syndrome. I don't blink fully. I don't really know why. I think I'm afraid of missing something. So I don't blink fully. It's been quite a struggle for me since I was in high school, actually. Today I don't think I was blinking much while I was studying. That's okay. All good. So yeah, what else have I been up to? Apart from nearly dying in another snowstorm. And then I guess like to put a little more perspective, even though I feel like I have quite described this situation, the wind was so heavy that I really had to keep I had to hold the wheel because the wind was actually blowing my car. Although I do drive a Prius, that's still pretty crazy that I had to really use my arms, Good thing that I've been working in retail again because I've been lifting heavy boxes. But yeah, didn't even know, like, I check the weather all the time, and I knew that it was gonna happen because the weather app I use is the Weather Network, and they had like the blowing snowflake, but it was for evening, so I thought that it was just gonna be overnight. No, apparently it was mid-afternoon when it started, and I knew it had to have been bad because my mom only tells me like if it's really bad, because she doesn't want to worry me. So I was like, oh my god, like what? And yeah, and then the city was fine, so I didn't know what she was talking about. But once I was getting to the point where I needed to turn onto the highway, I could see the wind starting, and I knew, but I was like, what was I gonna do? And I just wanted to get home. I knew that some of my friends would like put me up again, but sometimes you just want to go home. And I knew I had to study for my midterm and all that, so I was like really stressed. And my hands were numb when I got home, because apparently when I get really stressed, something that's been happening to me the last few months is that my hands start to go numb. It starts in the pinky, I can't feel them, and then it just goes like finger by finger. And it was horrible because I was driving. Anyway, I bet you guys can't wait for winter to be over so I can stop telling terrifying stories that are supposed to be ASMR, so they're supposed to be calming, but the story is terrifying. Especially for people that don't really know like what living in a snowy environment is like. It must be nice to just like plan a day and you're like, I'm gonna travel on this day, and you don't like say I'm maybe gonna go that day, because that's what it's like in the summer for me. It's like, okay, I'm gonna go this place on this time and I'm gonna leave at this time because that's when it works for my schedule. In the winter you can't really do that. You can try, but it's like it's always up in the air until like the time comes and you can assess the weather. And it's like, why do we live here? Why do we continue to like be civilized in these areas with so much snow? But one of the good things with all the snow is that it was a drought, so all the snow's gonna melt, and the prediction is that we're gonna be out of a drought, which is good because farming. So yeah, all good. Also, sad story to piggyback onto what I was just talking about another snowstorm that I had to drive in. I had ran out of coffee creamer, so I was gonna go get coffee creamer after I was finished work, but I did not because I had gotten this worried text message from my mother to hurry up and get home. So I didn't get coffee creamer, but I had to make a mocha this morning with like hot chocolate powder and almond milk, and it was pretty good. But I think there was just a little too much sugar in the mocha, like in the hot chocolate powder, because I was like kind of buzzing, and I had like less coffee than I normally do because I've been trying to like cut back a little bit, not entirely, but like sometimes I'm 3 or 4 coffees a day, and that's just totally not necessary. But then after I had my mocha, I was just buzzing, but I also had avocado toast. So it was like, it wasn't like the caffeine, you know, I wasn't drinking the caffeine on an empty stomach. Like, I ate the avocado toast, and it was a chunky avocado, so like, I'm blaming it on the sugar and the chocolate powder. But I had to do what I had to do, you know. I had to make it home. I couldn't go get the coffee creamer. Anyways, that's my little story time, I guess, about how I nearly died again. It's, yeah. One time it's gonna be much worse, and you guys aren't gonna believe me. You're gonna be like, oh, another time you got stuck in a snowstorm. But one time it's gonna get worse. Mark my words. Now that sounds like I'm jinxing myself, and I don't want to do that. Okay. But anyways, I think we've had enough of my stories. So, make sure you comment, like, subscribe. Well, don't make sure, just do it if you'd like. Just if you want to people please me. You can also check out my TikTok and my Patreon. If you are interested, I am posting a sneak peek of the little series I've been talking about on my Patreon before I upload it to YouTube. So if you are interested in that, I'll let you know like when that happens. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. So thanks for always listening to my terrible weather stories. Say lovey. So with all that being said,